Hey, what's up, guys? It is Rob, and welcome back to a brand new weekly watch video. Basically, where every single week I watch movies, and on the weekend I show you guys what I watched. Usually keep it at 2 movies per day. I do have a full-time job and a family, so I try to squeeze that in there. And this week's theme is haunted houses / places. So any movie that has to deal with a haunted house or a haunted place, that is what I watch. It doesn't necessarily have to be a horror film, but it just has to deal with those two locations. So, this was recommended by a person that goes by the name of Physical Media Collector. So thank you for that. Really interesting topic. All right, so let's start with Monday. I watched Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Do I really need to go into detail about how good this movie is? Or how this movie is a masterpiece? Let me tell you something. There are some horror fans out there that claim to know a lot about horror that say Halloween Ends is a masterpiece. When I hear that, I chuckle and then I throw up. I don't really understand. I mean, your opinion is your opinion, but that is absurd. When I think of masterpieces when it comes to horror movies, I think of this movie, Halloween 1978, Jaws. There are a ton more movies that I would consider to be masterpieces. I know I'm not alone on that. But saying Halloween Ends is a masterpiece, I think you've lost your marbles just a little bit. But who knows? They claim to be huge horror fans. Anyway, yeah, this movie's a masterpiece. I'm sorry. Next one I watched on Monday is House on Haunted Hill. This is the remake. And it has to do with a haunted asylum, an insane asylum for the criminally insane. I think this movie still holds up today. Some of the CG is a little but you know, it has a charm to it. So yeah, I really like this. So yeah, Monday basically watched a haunted hotel place and a haunted asylum. Moving on to Tuesday, I watched The Blair Witch Project. This movie still holds up today. It's still creepy. I consider it to be one of the best horror films ever. One of the best, as well as found footage. I loved it ever since I saw it in the theater. And yeah, basically about a haunted forest and a witch. So, really awesome movie. The next one I watched, Amityville 2: The Possession, which I think is far better than the original, the first one with Margot Kidder. Look, I like the original. I think it's a little slow in some parts, but I like this one a lot more. This has Burt Young in it, right there. There he is, Paulie. Where's Rocky at? When it comes to sequels, you know, I feel like this is the best sequel, but I actually prefer this over the original. So, you know, the Amityville house, awesome location. So, all right, moving on to Wednesday, I watched the first Paranormal Activity. I still consider this to be a pretty good horror film. I thought this movie should have been a one and done instead of making all these sequels. And I know there's story to tell, and that's fine. I don't think Mika Slow is an interesting character, but I do think Katie is. I just feel like the series is just all, I know it connects in certain points, but I feel like it's all over the place. But I love the first one. You know, I saw this in the theater as well. And it was a select theater actually. But still, I still think there's some things that creep me out about this one. But yeah, basically a demon that's haunting the house that they're living in. And they set up a camera and it's pointing down the hallway and hear noises and see shadows and stuff. So pretty cool. Next one I watched is Insidious, directed by James Wan. Even though I probably prefer The Conjuring over this, but I still think this is a pretty good horror film when it has to do with like creepy imagery and stuff like that. But anyway, there's a haunting going on with this boy, and they have to go into like this dead zone to find him. something happens to him in the house, and yeah, like they're his conscience. It goes really deep. It's kind of like different from any other I want to say like possession film, but it's really good. I really enjoy this one a lot. So those are two movies that have to deal with like demons and stuff. Moving on to Thursday, I watched What Lies Beneath, which was directed by Robert Zemeckis, who did Back to the Futures. But basically, your typical haunted house movie with a ghost. Harrison Ford, Michelle Pfeiffer. This is a different kind of movie for Harrison Ford, and if you haven't seen the movie, definitely watch it and you'll see what I mean. But this is kind of creepy, like the music and like this ghost, like Michelle Pfeiffer sees her in the bathtub reflection, and yeah, there's a part where she's like underwater, and crazy movie. I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah, great movie. The other haunted house one I watched is Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon. Instead of a house, it's more like an apartment building. Kevin Bacon sees this girl. Just like in What Lies Beneath, it was a girl. In this one, it's a girl that appears to him, and she's trying to, I've talked about this before. She's trying to communicate with him, and he doesn't understand what she's saying or anything. So he kind of like, does his research and stuff to try to figure out what she wants. And, he listens to the signs and sees everything. And so he ends up digging and trying to like, find a body and stuff. Like, it's really, really interesting. I love this movie. Creepy music, creepy all together when it comes to hauntings. So those two movies were about basically girls haunting a house. So Friday, I went with The Haunting with Liam Neeson, Owen Wilson, Lily Taylor. I love Lily Taylor. The very first movie I saw Lily Taylor in was Rudy, the football movie. And she was also in Ransom. She had a big part there, of course, in The Conjuring. She was good in this too. Liam Neeson was good here as well. I would say the special effects are just, I don't know, they're just kind of plain, and some of it looks really bad, and some of it actually looks good. So I don't know, it's kind of in the middle. I think this is a good movie. It's not great. But yeah, it can be fun at times. It can be kind of creepy at times with the little kids talking and stuff like that. But yeah, basically about a haunted mansion or a haunted manor. So the last one I went with on Friday is also a haunted mansion or a manor, and that is Casper. That's right, I changed it up a little bit. This movie always brings a smile to my face. I saw this in the theater. Bill Pullman, Christina Ricci, Casper, the ghost that haunts this big old mansion, and his father was an inventor and stuff like that. He's trying to find a way to become human again or become alive, and his crazy uncles are there. And I love the Ghostbuster cameo in this and all the cameos. This movie still holds up. I love this movie. Great cast, great soundtrack. Yeah, Casper is a lot of fun. So yeah, that's what I went with on Friday. So yeah, it's a really good theme this week. So quick recap. Monday, I watched the masterpiece, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, as well as House on Haunted Hill. Both have to do with haunted, like big places, a hotel and a insane asylum. Tuesday, I went with The Blair Witch Project. That has to do with a haunted forest. And then Amityville 2: The Possession with the haunted Amityville house. Wednesday, I went with Paranormal Activity, about a demon that's haunting the residents, as well as Insidious. They have to do with dark spirits. Thursday, I went with What Lies Beneath, about a girl who haunts a house, and Stir of Echoes, about a girl who haunts an apartment. And Friday, of course, The Haunting, basically a ghost, ghosts that haunt the mansion, as well as Casper. So yeah, that's my weekly watch, guys, for Haunted House / Place Week. Stay tuned for next week. I'm not really sure what the theme is going to be for next week, but I'll definitely let you know. if you have any recommendations or anything like that, please post them below. I'd love to hear them. I can't say that I'm always going to go with them, but I do like ideas thrown around. So yeah, let me know. And I'm going to be continuing these on. Hope you enjoy my videos. I got, I've been doing some live gameplays, and I've been doing my Friday night ritual videos every Friday, and I'm also going to be doing, the weekly watches. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I have a lot of reviews and things coming up as well. So stay tuned, and this is Rob signing off. See you in the next one.